Alright, so here's how I break down an onion. So I had a viewer that said they watched the same video multiple times, trying to figure out the technique. So I figured I'd just give you a deep dive, show you how I do it. Firstly, you start by taking off the onion's head and its feet. And from there, you split it in half, remove its innards, and peel off its skin. And sometimes if the outer layer is too waxy, you take that off too. The outer layer you should be able to just grip and peel off, and it should come right out. The core takes a little bit more force and a little bit more prying. So when I go to cut into juliennes, I try my best to angle my knife as I'm going along the radial of the onion itself. It's a little bit different than what they teach you in culinary school, and I've never really cared for the one they teach you in culinary school because it goes against the natural structures of the onion. So you're making cuts that it creates more work for yourself, it's slower, and it makes ununiform shapes. Whereas if you take your knife along the ridge and the outside of the onion, you realize that it already has all of the vertical cuts that you would put in it. They're just along a radial rather than straight up and down. So ideally when you cut it, I do a bit of a rock chop, but ideally when you cut it, you can, if you use just a push chop with it, you can keep that structure held together a little bit better so that when you go to turn it into little piles to dice it or to brunoise it, it stays together better. Whereas if you rock chop it a lot of times like I do, then you have to spend a little bit more time organizing your pile because it's not going to stay together. It's going to stick to your knife. It's going to fall all over your board. And if you watch in the first video where I demonstrate the technique, I definitely did more of a rock chop, so it kind of falls around and I had spent more time organizing the pile. Where if you watch the second onion that I do more of just the push chop, and then I'm able to just take the pile that's already there and still held together and just turn it to the side, which is ideally what you're looking for. And then from there, once you have your julienne, it's kind of the same thing because the natural julienne is lightly curved, so you kind of want to follow straight up and down with your blade, but still a little bit curved with the radial of the julienne to try and get uniform individual pieces. And you can vary these for like medium, large, small dice, brunoise by just how thick you cut your julienne. And then from there, how thick you cut your dice. So you can get a medium dice, you can get paper thin julienne into a paper thin brunoise that just melts into your sauces. And I prefer this technique because it allows more control, it's faster, and it creates more uniform shapes. Tell me what you think of the technique in the comments, or if you use something different that you think works